to be getting into looking at the underrated players in the league and overrated players in the league according to the Athletic. This was a survey that the Athletic produces every single year on the NBA, where they survey the NBA players in the league currently and ask them to take a vote on certain prompts. And for the most overrated, we're going to get into that first. If you guys had to guess who's number one on this list, who do you guys think it is for the most overrated player in the NBA today?
Can we get a hint?
Like Trey Young or Gobert?
It is Gobert.
Damn.
It's always Gobert. So it's literally every year I feel like Gobert, if he's not one, he's two.
There was 81 votes on this poll, and Rudy Gobert got 13.6% of votes. Number 2 was Jordan Poole.
Okay.
Number 3 was Trey Young.
Trey Young's always on there too.
Yeah. This is kind of shocking because I think
Jordan Poole doesn't make sense to me at all.
What do you mean?
He's not overrated. He's just like overrated is yeah, but like
that's all I'm saying. I feel like Jordan Poole's not overrated. He's just garbage.
But like that, yeah, it's something like overrated would be if he's doing good right now and like people were like still hating and there's reasons to say like, oh, he's overrated, but he's not even rated anymore.
I think a part of that was just because like he had high expectations going into the season, like getting like his own team. But continue with 4 and 5. I'm interested.
4 was Dylan Brooks, and 5 was James Harden. And then I could read the rest of the list.
No.
Harden at 5. I thought Harden had a good year. Like at the Clippers, especially when they were like hot. Like a few like weeks after he first got there, like Harden was playing really good. As far as like the Dylan Brooks take, I don't really have an opinion on that. And the Rockets were kind of below average the whole entire season, and then they got really hot at the end. But the list I feel like seems pretty consistent to like what it is every single year. Trey Young and Gobert are always on there, and then the 3 are just some like random other players. They always switch out. That's always how the list goes.
James Harden, I agree with what Kevin said. I don't really know if he deserves to be on there. I think he's been really good his whole career, and this year there's not really a reason to say that he's suddenly he's overrated. I don't agree with that. As for Dylan Brooks, I think how did they not put that motherfucker 1? I know that we don't rate him like as he's a good player, so it's impossible for us to say he's overrated, but he got paid $80 million. He deserves to be called overrated. I don't know.
I don't think he was terrible this season.
Yeah,
no, he wasn't. I think when he was on the Grizzlies, I think he might have been a little bit overrated, but he hasn't been getting like the buzz and the talk that he is on Houston right now as he did as when he was on Memphis. So I don't really like that Dylan Brooks is on there. I'm gonna be honest.
The James Harden one I could see at the beginning of the season because he's not really that James Harden of like MVP James Harden that we used to know. Now he's more in a different kind of role, and I can kind of see that why like players would vote him overrated, just because like when you trade for James Harden, you get a lot in return, and like you're getting that name, like we've talked about before. So I could see that for being a reason why he's overrated. But I'm gonna go ahead and go on with the rest of the list for overrated players. So at number 6 we have Bradley Beal, 7 John Collins, 8 Tyrese Halliburton, 9 Julius Randle, 10 Karl Anthony Towns, 10 Patrick Beverley, 11 Anthony Davis, 12 Domantas Sabonis, and 13 Jason Tatum.
Yeah, so it kind of just sounds like they were just bullshitting by the time they got to 10.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
With like Sabonis had such a great year. I don't understand how people are saying
Hallie is like literally just had his first good season, and he mostly shit the bed for the second part of it. So like I guess I see that, but like I wonder who was part of that survey.
So it's interesting because all of the surveys have different numbers of participants. So like this one has 81 people who participated in it, and then in the underrated one, 126 NBA players participated in that one.
Yeah, I don't know. That list to me, like, there's a lot of names on there that you could make a case are overrated, but it's just it doesn't seem like I don't know.
So like when you guys were talking about Tyrese Halliburton, only 3% of people voted that out of the whole like survey.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And Sabonis was 2.5.
So I feel like those players, it's kind of just like biased towards like maybe like the rivals might say they're like overrated, or I don't know, maybe it's just people just genuinely think they're overrated, and we'll never know. But
yeah, I also wonder how many players actually actively had to guard them, and how many players are like bench riders or everything in between. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would agree, but at the same time, these are NBA players, so you would think that they would know.
All right, here's the most underrated players. So 126 people voted on this in the NBA. Coming in at number 1 is Derek White. Number 2,
I like that.
Number 2, we got Jalen Williams, J-Dub.
I like that one too.
Number 3, we got Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, I kind of want you guys to guess this one because this one shocked me because I don't see how this guy is underrated.
Do you think he's like more overrated, or he's like too much of a star, or it could be anybody?
I think he's
Randall.
Perfectly rated, if that makes sense. They're in the West, top 3 team.
Shea.
Top 3 team.
It is Shea.
Wow.
Shea is not underrated.
Yeah,
people street stroke that freaking guy.
Yeah, I actually
looking at one of them.
He was part of the. Did you guys see the edits that they were doing of like old school teams and like their counterparts? Like it was, I think it was Kareem and Giannis. There was one of like Blake Griffin and I think Kawhi, which is not that old, but whatever. But yeah, then they had Shea and KD. I'm pretty sure in the same one. I don't know. He's not underrated. He's literally like that guy on OKC, even now in the playoffs. They must have done this, like polling and stuff, right? Like at the beginning of the season. So like, because that I guess that would, or more recently. I don't know.
If I had to guess, it was recently because this article just came out.
Yeah.
But
when they polled people, I wonder if it was like at the beginning of the season, because then that would explain why they were like, hey, you guys know about this Shea guy? He's pretty underrated. But like now it's like, yeah, no shit. And it would make sense actually, because then when Holly was doing good, then they would be saying, like, he's overrated. And then that kind of came into fruition later in the season. I don't know. Possible.
So then at number 5, we got De'Aaron Fox. 6, Brandon Ingram. 7, Franz Wagner. 8, Kobe Y, who I think should be higher. 9, Kyrie Irving. And 10, Jamal Murray.
Who was number 5?
I think
De'Aaron
no,
Fox.
6. Ingram. Get Ingram off that fucking.
Ingram has been a little inconsistent this season. Other than like Ingram and like SGA, I can't really say too many bad things about the list. Like I agree with it in most parts. I mean, Kobe White, yeah, I'm a little bit biased towards him. I'm a little shitty that he didn't get the MIP award. I thought he deserved it, but whatever. It's just MIP. But like, I don't know. Everything else seemed pretty cool. Like Derek White had an amazing year. He's averaging 15 points for the Celtics, playing behind Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Tatum, and Brown. And he's an amazing defender. He was all NBA last year. So I definitely agree with Derek White at number 1. And everything else I feel like really fell into place other than SGA and Ingram.
I like this list better than I like the overrated list for sure.
Yeah, I think this one was a lot more accurate.
Can you re-say 7 through 10, Victor? after Ingram. What was it?
Franz Wagner, Kobe White, Kyrie, and then Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray should have been higher up on that list, man. I mean, I know we've talked in length about this, but that man deserves his flowers.
He just misses time a good
Yeah.
amount sometimes.
That's a fair point.
He's not like injury prone, but like he misses games.
Yeah.
So I think people sometimes like forget because he's never been an all-star, which I don't think he ever should have been named at any point during his career because of like the injuries and him missing time.
Mhm.
But you know, I think sometimes people forget like how good he really is until the playoffs come and he's doing finishes with the opposite hand going up and hitting game winners.
Regardless, the point that I was gonna say is, or the only tidbit that I was gonna add is, I'll die on that hill that it to me it's just crazy, especially if the Nuggets win again this year, that they only have one All-Star on their team. That's just insane because they're such a high level
One
team
true
and they're
All-Star, yeah.
so good.
Play good team ball.